Okay, so welcome to the second of the three videos that are going to cover the hymns that we learned this past Friday night. So one of the videos is Ismoib Choice, the other video is Tanwe and Sok, and this one is Aree Hoo Chasf. Okay, so once you have Aree Hoo Chasf done, and assuming that you've seen the Ismoib Choice recording and video, and assuming you've seen the Hoseiraf recording, you now know all three of the third canticle hymns. This is the last of the three third canticle hymns. It's Aree Hoo Chasf. So Aree Hoo Chasf is a beautiful hymn in that it's very repetitious, but the tune, the melody is really nice. And there's a very big portion that repeats. And even in that really big portion that repeats, there is a lot of repetition. So once you get down that repetitious portion, you have the whole hymn. That's why it seems very short. You see, there's a lot of parentheses, a lot of brackets. Those are just to indicate parts that are repeating or parts that are very, very familiar in tone, in pitch, in melody, everything like that. So we're going to go through the whole hymn as usual, and then we're going to go through it piece by piece. Okay? So we'll go through the whole hymn. Ari. Before I go anywhere further, just to note how the notes are working, we have short notes, we have medium notes, long notes, as always. Short notes. So here we Ari, Ari. So we have a medium to long. Ari. Okay? So that's how it's going to go. So you'll get a kind of an idea of how the melody is going throughout the video. Ari, ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. O echa asfisha a ni, ne, Okay. So that's the hymn right there. As you can notice, there's a lot of repetition. Okay, a lot of repetition that's happening. So apologies for the little skip. I had to put my computer on charge. But as we were noting, we have a lot of repetition. Okay, particularly this beginning part with the brackets and then the ending part with the brackets. Okay, so let's take a look at the hymn piece by piece. So let's just look at the beginning. Aree. Okay, so typical kind of hesitation with that we see with the short notes. Aree. Aree. Okay, so it's Aree. Aree. Okay, then we get into this repetitious portion here. Aree. So let's practice that part together because it repeats a lot in the hymn. One more time. Right, so the whole hymn is going to go. Aree. Okay, so we'll start here. And that part, all of this is actually going to repeat one more time. So it's ay, 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 ay. So pretty similar to this part here, right? Ay, 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 ay. This part's pretty similar. Ay, ay, ay. Okay? So it's ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay. So it's ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. The tune was a little bit off there, but we'll go from here, right? So it's ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, so all together, let's practice one more time. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. One more time again then. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. And that's where the repetition breaks. So very similar to Hos Erof, where we notice if you're just repeating the same stuff a lot, it's very easy to get just stuck in this loop where forever until the end of time, you're gonna go ay, 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 ay. So here's where it breaks, right? It's gonna have this this part that's four short notes and one medium note that's gonna kind of break the repetition. You're gonna repeat this part twice. Ay, 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 ay. Right, so it's starting here, it's A, 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 a a a a a a a a a So notice how low it is. It's very low compared to the rest of the hymn, which is high. Okay, so let's practice from the second line. So it's descending, it's starting higher and it's going lower. A, 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 A. Okay, so it's A, 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 A. Okay, so starting from the second line, one more time. Okay, so it's A, 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 Okay. A, 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 A. So you can start high on this one here. A, and then go immediately low. And then it goes a little bit high again. And then back to low. Okay, so altogether it's going to be Okay, so practice home. So we'll start here. So practice the transition here. It kind of speeds up a little bit. So it says So we're going slow here, right? It was So practice the transition just as it is. One more time. So once you have the transition down, you can go to the next part. Right? So we'll actually we'll start off slow and then we'll go back to the just to practice the transition. Okay. Okay. So this part is going to repeat twice. All right. So starting here. One more time, this part. Ay, 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 ay. One more time. Ay, 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 ay. So practice this part alone. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. One more time. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. So one more time. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. One more time again. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay? So starting here. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. So very similar to this part again. A lot of repetitions happening, right? So starting here. Ay, 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 ay. So one more time. Ay, 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 ay. So starting a little bit higher, going a little bit lower. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. So practice this part. Ay, 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 ay. One more time. Ay, 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 ay. One more time. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Right. Ay, 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 ay. So starting at these medium notes. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, so starting here. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, now the next part's a little bit yuki because it's starting high. Ay, 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 ay. So just practice that part. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, so let's practice that. Ay, 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 ay. So here, from this set of long notes to this medium note, we're ascending. Ay, 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 ay. Then we start high. Ay, ay, ay. So we're descending. So it's going from ascending to descending. Right? That's the dynamic of the hymn. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. So practice this part, starting high. Ay, 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 ay. But don't start too high because you want to leave yourself a little bit of room to go extra high, right? So it's ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay? Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. So all of that, that's starting right here. Ay, 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 ay. That's exactly the same as up here. Ay, 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 ay. So it's exactly the same. right? So starting at the high. And then notice this part here is exactly the same as this part here. Exactly the same, right? So then you go to this repetitious portion here. That's Okay, so let's practice this part. So just that part. One more time. Okay, one more time. One more time. Last time. And then you'll notice we go into these brackets. From this bracket to that bracket, you're repeating the same exact thing. So it's exactly the same what we just learned. So that's why it's actually a very easy hymn to learn, because once you got into that portion, you've gotten through pretty much the whole hymn, right? There's just the transitionary portions and the ending portion. So once you do all of this, right? So we'll start at this pretending where we did the pretending we did all of that. We'll go here. One more time. So it's going high. So try to hit the high note. So this part's gonna go. Okay, so one more time, we'll practice and move on to the next portion. Okay, so a little bit low starting. High. And then descending, right? So from the beginning, it's ni So this part's it's very low. So this part's so it's building up, then going down. One more time. And then settles, and that's the hymn. Okay, so from the ending, ni so that's the ending of the hymn right there. Okay, so it's a very easy hymn, very straightforward. Not as necessarily easy in that, it's the tune is easy or the length of it is easy, but more so that just mapping it out is easy because there's a lot of repetition. It's not like Hoserof, right? Where with the difficulty that we encountered with Hoserof was that it's an 8-minute hymn and it's 8 minutes of just new hazet, very little repetition. And you just have to know a lot, right? It's a lot of content. This is a little bit less content. It's very compact, it's dense, right? It's the same thing, but it's compact. So that's the beauty of that hymn. So God willing, this video helped you in any way, shape, and form. If you have questions, always feel free to reach out to me. Say a comment, whatever you want to do to get your voice out there, to give feedback, to give comments, to give questions, to give constructive criticism, anything you need. But say, God willing, you enjoyed the video, you found it helpful in some way. And thank God, glory to God that we were able to have this. And God willing, I'll catch you at the Friday night meeting or maybe in more of the videos. But I hope everything was very enjoyable and very helpful.